The immaturity that continues. Hold on tight. Sit back, relax, and we are going to read the word of God and get in the word of God, and with deeper meaning search the scriptures. We are going to search to understand what the word we are going to read actually means. So we're going to read from the book of Matthew chapter number 26. This is when they were plotting to capture Jesus Christ, to kill Jesus Christ. So we're going to read that chapter, and hopefully we finish the chapter in this episode. So remember, the topic of the day is called the immaturity that continues, and under that topic I want to touch a subject of prayer. So the immaturity that continues in prayer, or about prayer. But the main topic, the immaturity that continues. So we're going to read from verse number 20, from verse number 1, chapter number 26. So like I said, this story is about the time they wanted to capture Jesus Christ and beat him and crucify him. Verse number 1 of chapter number 26 of Matthew. When Jesus had finished saying all these things, he said to his disciples, "As you know, the Passover is 2 days away, and the Son of Man will be handed over to be crucified." I want you to mark that. The Son of Man will be handed to be crucified. He was telling the disciples. And let's go to verse number 3. The chief priests and the elders of the people assembled in the palace of the high priest, whose name was Caiaphas, and they schemed to arrest Jesus secretly and kill him, but not during the festival. They said, "Oh, there may be a riot among the people." Now from verse 1 to verse number 5 that we've already read, the disciples here, they don't ask Jesus what he was talking about. They don't ask him like, "Hey master, what are you talking about? Handed to what?" They already knew what Jesus Christ was talking about. Now let's jump to verse number 10. Aware of this, Jesus said to them, "Why are you bothering this woman? This is when the woman came with perfume, and the disciples said, 'Why waste this perfume? We could sell this and that and that.'" So Jesus Christ said, "Why are you bothering this woman?" That's from verse number 10 of chapter 26 of Matthew. "Why are you bothering this woman? She has done a beautiful thing to me. The poor you will always have with you, but you will not always have me physically." That's what Jesus Christ meant there. Physically. When she poured this perfume on my body, she did it to prepare me for burial. Second time Jesus Christ talking about his death in this chapter. And no disciple is asking him what he's talking about. This shows us the disciples already knew what he was talking about. Truly, verse number 13, "Truly I tell you, wherever this gospel is preached throughout the world, that what she has done will also be told in memory of her." The disciples are still not asking, "Wounded and dying what?" So the disciples here already knew what Jesus Christ was talking about. Let's go to verse number 17 of the same chapter. On the first day of the festival of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus and asked, "Where do you want us to make preparations for you to eat their Passover?" He replied, "Go into the city to a certain man and tell him, the teacher says, my appointed time is near. I am going to celebrate the Passover with my disciples at your house." Now, no disciples asked them, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What time are you talking about?" So, by Jesus Christ sending the disciples to a certain man to tell him that his appointed time is near, it means that it's not only the disciples who actually knew that Jesus Christ was going to be crucified. So the disciples lived with Jesus Christ, so they knew this. And actually, so this shows us that someone else knew. So I'm just trying to show you that in this chapter, the disciples knew what Jesus Christ was talking about. For none of them asked him, "What are you talking about? What death? What appointed time are you talking about?" Let's go to verse number 20. The same chapter. When evening came, Jesus was reclining at the table with the 12, and while they were eating, he said, "Truly I tell you, one of you will betray me." Now, this is interesting. They were very sad and began to say, to say to him, one after the other, surely you don't mean me, Lord. They are not even asking, betray you how? What? They knew what Jesus Christ was talking about. So no one is questioning Jesus as to, what are you talking about? What death are you talking about? What crucifixion are you talking about? None of the disciples asked. We are going to go to chapter number 36 of the same verse number 36 of the same chapter. Chapter 26 of Matthew, verse number 36. This is something that you need to pay attention to right now. This is where the whole message is going to come out from. The immaturity that continues. Verse number 36. Then Jesus went with his disciples to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to them, sit here while I go over there and pray. Verse number 37. He took Peter and 2 sons of Zebedee along with him. So 2 sons of Zebedee, James and John. This is not like a revelation, James. No, other versions actually show the names of 2 sons of Zebedee. So that was James and John. No revelation there. It's there in other versions. I'm using New International Versions. So he said to other disciples, sit here while I go over there and pray. He took Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee along with him, and he began to be sorrowful and be troubled. Verse number 38. Then he said to them, my soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me. Stay here and keep watch with me. So there we understand that he was asking the 3 disciples to stay and pray with him. Verse number 39. Going a little further, he fell with his face to the ground, a little further in prayer, and prayed, my Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me, yet not as I will, but as you will. Then he turned to his disciples and found them sleeping. Couldn't you men keep watch with me for 1 hour? He asked Peter. Watch and pray, so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. He went away a second time and prayed, my Father, if it is possible for this cup to be taken away, unless I drink it, may your will be done. When he came back, he again found them sleeping because their eyes were heavy. So he left them and went away one more and prayed the 3rd time, saying the same thing.